we had a fiery comment section on Friday's video. Welcome back to another video, you guys. My name is Derek. Today we're going to be going over some of the videos that I made last week, along with some of the comments that you guys have made, some updates with the website, and some of the videos to come. So let's get started. We will soon get to those comments and my response to them regarding the MacBook Pro LCD panel replacements. But first, let's go over a few updates with the website. We have our pre-owned Apple Watch inventory restocked, including the SE Series 2, 3, Series 10, Series 11, and the Ultra 2 and Ultra 3. So check out that inventory when you have a chance. Also, the overnight shipping times from Monday through Thursday have changed from 12 Eastern Standard Time to 2. So you have an additional 2 hours to get those orders in for overnight shipping. Friday's cutoff is 10 p.m. for overnight shipping, as that will get there Monday, as well as Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you weren't aware, there was an issue with the iOS 26.2.1, which has now been resolved. Feel free to look into that if you're wondering what it was all about. And there are a bunch of new products on the website. Now back to last week's videos. Tuesday, I went over kind of part 2 of repairing an Apple Watch Series 10 that had taken a swim for a few laps and had gotten water in it, causing it not to work. In a previous video, I showed taking it apart, showing all of the damage, assuming what I was going to replace, and we go through the process of replacing those components. And I continued that video on Thursday, finishing up the repair, getting that watch fully working. So if you haven't already, check those out. I will be, however, making a fully condensed version, putting all part 1, 2, and 3 together for those of you that don't want to watch each individual video, and a more condensed version later this week. We also took a look at an iPhone that had an issue with Face ID, a particular one where if you drop it, but for some reason Face ID wouldn't work, you jiggle the phone and it would come back and it'd be off and on. I go through the process of diagnosing and fixing that issue, which is something that we see often. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. Now for the fun one. One of the videos that I uploaded on Friday was a MacBook LCD panel replacement, where I show the entire process of tearing down the MacBook, removing the whole top lid, separating the LCD panel, replacing it, along with transferring over the display ICs. And the comments went crazy saying, the new iOS has made it so you don't have to do that. Short answer, yes. Long answer, no. Let's get into that. Did the iOS make it so that you could replace the LCD panel without having to transfer the ICs? Yes, kind of. The only thing I can compare it to is replacing the display on an iPhone with an aftermarket versus an original. It'll still work. Maybe the customer won't even notice the differences, but there will be some drawbacks. Whereas if you transfer the ICs, you don't run into those. That's why so many of you, including me, have been able to get away with replacing the LCD panel without having to do any of that additional solder work, and it works. And typically no one seems to care. Same goes for when you replace the display without transferring over the display IC. Some people just don't care, which is perfectly fine. But let's get a little bit more technical here. Do you have to replace it? No. Should you? My opinion, yes. And if you go into the video description on Friday, you'll see kind of a list of the reasons to replace the display ICs, things that will happen if you don't. And you'll see that there is obviously a gray area there where it's up to you. Do you want to replace it or not? Now, you can obviously take all that with a grain of salt if you want to, but I'm willing to bet if we went on to something like ChatGPT and asked it a question, also take it with a grain of salt if you don't trust ChatGPT. I like to use ChatGPT for daily questions, so I think it's fairly reliable. Let's go and check it out, see if I can ask it that question and see what the results are. Is it important to transfer the display ICs when doing an LCD panel replacement on a MacBook A2442, and why? Yes, on a MacBook Pro A2442, 14-inch M1/M1 Max, it is important to transfer the display-related ICs, especially the display EEPROM timing IC. When you're replacing the LCD panel only and not the entire Apple paired display assembly, here's the why in repair tech terms. What Apple pairs on the A2442 display? Apple pairs display data to the logic board and the data lines on the small ICs mounted to the display flex panel, commonly referred to as the display EEPROM, timing and panel ID IC, sometimes grouped as display ROM. These chips store panel ID, calibration data, brightness and gamma curves, true tone, and color calibration info. What happens if you don't transfer them? If you install the bare replacement LCD panel without moving those ICs, you'll usually see one or more of these. No image / black screen, black common backlight comes on but no pictures, incorrect colors, washed out image, loss of true tone, brightness control issues, intermittent image artifacts. On A2442 specifically, the most common failure is backlight with no image, which makes people think that the panel is bad when it's actually missing the paired data. When you don't need to transfer the ICs, you do not need to transfer anything if you're replacing the entire Apple paired display assembly, original lid with the original Lexus or LCD intact. Let's see. All right, now let's ask it. You can read through the rest of this, but let's ask it, do I have to transfer it? Do I have to transfer the display ICs over, or can I get away with just replacing the LCD panel only? You can get away with just installing the panel on an A2442. It is not a hard stop repair. This machine will boot and show an image. But here's the honest repair bench reality. What happens if you don't transfer the display ICs? Display turns on and works. True tone is gone, etc., etc., etc. So let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Got some fun videos hopefully coming out this week. I'm going to try to get together a memory upgrade on an iPhone along with a dual SIM modification. I'll be compiling those 3 videos on the Apple Watch water damage video into one, condensing it down without skipping much so that you can see the whole process. And of course, let me know in the comments below if there's a specific repair that you'd like to see. I love when those comments come through, as it gives me more ideas of what I can film for videos. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.